Welcome to MMT Chats. This episode is brought to you by ISCAR with new ideas for machining intelligently. Hey MMT followers, Christina Fuges with MoldMaking Technology back for another quick MMT Chat. My guest today is the return of Marion Wells, who is President of Human Asset Management.
The three top issues for this year for basically HR professionals is really going to be around recruitment, retention, and mental well-being, which I think are all topics that you and I have talked about. The challenge is going to be that we're going to have to do more in the area of branding, as you and I spoke about the last time we talked with respect to marketing. We're going to have to really heighten the awareness about manufacturing and what manufacturing can do. And I think we're going to have to learn to get out of our own way, really letting the younger people with their ideas really infuse them into the organization. And we're going to have to be more inclusive with our conversations. So as you and I have talked in the past, for those that don't have HR at the table, it's going to become quite evident. So now I'm not going to recommend it. I'm going to demand it. I'm demanding that HR be included in the conversation in 2022.
Let's talk about who you are, who HAM is, and what is 2030.
Human Asset Management is a company that really focuses on talent development, talent acquisition, talent just in the full sense of the human that you're bringing into your organization, that you're trying to retain, develop, and have them be a critical part of making the business happen, right? And how do you do that? So I work with a lot of companies. I work with their HR, just really helping them create strategy, help them to create that action plan, so to speak, of how to attract more humans to their company and to really help them to hone in on what's the most important. Is it skills, right? Or is it having a great resume? Is it culture fit? You know, what are those particulars within your company that are most important to you? And let's get about creating that strategy and that plan to make that happen.
So I do recall seeing on your website, it talks about talent optimization services using predictive index science-based methodology. So
absolutely.
Explain that.
Well, the science is that all of us have a set of behaviors. We have a set of strengths. We have a set of weaknesses, and all of it might not be a fit for the organization. So first, the organization has to really understand what's driving us. What are the most important behaviors that we need within the organization? Predictive Index takes a real educated science approach at delving into those attributes, right, of that individual, and ensuring that when you bring them into the organization, you are best optimizing them because you already know about those behaviors. You're building better relationships. You're putting them on the right team. You got them in the right position where they can really be an asset. So it's really taking a science approach at the human that you're bringing into your organization.
2030, what is it in a sentence?
Well, you know, in a nutshell, 2030, it's really about the change within our global society. We want to get rid of powertrain vehicles. We're going to be electric vehicles. We're going to be a greener climate. We're gonna really be much more effective and efficient as a human base, right? And so that being said, you know, the viewpoint is that the baby boomers have been kind of like clogging the system, so to speak, because we were sitting in positions for 35, 40 years. We like what we like. I love my gas vehicle can't get excited about an electric vehicle, right? I mean, so change is very difficult for us. And so there's this notion, if we move this group out of the way, oh, we don't have to move them. They're going to retire. Huh. So by 2030, you know, the last baby boomer will turn 65. Think about that. They will turn 65.
So what has transpired that, I guess, across the mold making landscape, let's narrow that down, like since COVID hit, that has impacted the small to mid-sized shops, you know, in with this issue? Like, what has changed since COVID hit?
Nothing has really changed, you know, that has really impacted, because we always have been looking for talent, but now the hunt for talent, I think, is getting even harder. Wages going up. We knew that wages were going to kind of go up, but we didn't know they were going to really go up. And now they're up, right? We knew that people would want flexibility, but we didn't know how flexible it was going to be. And now they're screaming about flexibility, right? And so now the new carrot that's being waved out there is the 4-day work week. And so now we're getting the conversation started about the 4-day work week. So this notion about having balance in our lives and being able to breathe and not getting burned out and being a better employee, I think that conversation is starting to really get accelerated.
Have you anything different or the same of the companies that are embracing making a change to face this challenge head on?
I think with smaller companies, you can see the dysfunctionality because they're smaller, right? But the larger company is hard because it's buried, unless they're organized as such that, you know, they're operating in a silo, right? And everybody has their different P&Ls. But oftentimes, you know, at the root of all of this is metrics, because metrics drive behavior. So, you know, my metrics may not be the same as yours, whether it's my performance review metrics, whether it's my departmental metrics, whether it's my, you know, team metrics, but the metrics that I choose to measure my success and my performance, you know, is what's going to drive my individual behavior.
Right, so if you're looking at a shop that has, I don't know, a typical human resources manager or person, not department, if they're going to go down that road, Marion, who are they hiring? Like, how do they even know what skills or qualifications?
They're hiring an analyst. They're hiring somebody that can collect the data, synthesize through the data, and give them a framework of understanding by painting a picture with the data of what's going on within their organization. They're hiring that young analyst, business analyst, to really come in and do the engagement survey of the company, understand where all the happy campers are within our organization, understand, you know, where all the opportunity exists for improvement. And putting the picture together.
That's a totally different definition, right? Of a typical look at another, you know, I mean, payroll. Right?
So it's another person. But when you think about it, HR really has evolved over the last 15, 20 years. I mean, it's been on an evolution, right? And I think when you look at, you know, doing the tangibles, the payroll, the benefits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when you say HR, that's what people think about. But that's the administrative side. Nobody really focuses on the people side. And so I'm saying the people side is really what is impacting, you know, your bottom line, because there is a cost to turnover. There is a cost to keeping an employee happy, and there's a cost to, you know, cost impact if you lose it all. And it affects your bottom line.
Yeah. You know what's interesting too? You brought up marketing earlier. So it's funny, not funny, but this new different role of human resources, that role will need to work intimately with the marketing person or marketing team, because they're going to know how do you know how to market your company or what you have to offer if you don't know who you are? So that's a different take too, isn't it? Like
Well,
having those.
the whole social media framework has really allowed our employees to have different platforms to go talk about us,
Yeah.
right? The good, the
Yeah.
bad, and the ugly. And
Yeah.
you want that analyst within your company to be pulling that data so that they can show you how you look on the outside, in terms of those platforms, and what are people really saying about you.
Yeah, that is true.
It's so important, because sometimes it could be just a matter of clarifying our messaging, showcasing our talents on our website, right?
Well, you know what, too? A lot of companies that I see that are engaged on social media talk more, not that this is wrong, but they talk more about what they do as opposed to who they are, right?
Well,
so in terms of attracting people, you really need to talk about who you are now,
well,
especially
but you
nowadays.
also got to talk about the why, and why you do the work that you do, and what it means for your community, and what it means for the employees, and who benefits. The customer benefits, but our community benefits as well.
Yeah.
Because we're keeping people employed, we're making a difference within the community. And who's part of your community? The school systems, right?
Yep.
So it's building that holistic marketing conversation, and creating that plan that really helps you to ensure that your external brand is matching your internal brand.
Yeah. You know what, too? And if you're doing that, that plan is going to keep your talent pipeline flowing. If you're engaged with local schools, local organizations, then you're exposing your company, you're marketing it the right way, you're going to have a pipeline of people wanting to come work for you.
Absolutely. And who better to help drive that than your analyst? Your analyst is the young person. They're great with the technology skills. They can help you to see things from a different perspective, right? And they can really, they can really help to put your company on the map of others to say, I want to go work there.
Yeah. So go ahead.
It's one-on-one. It's having the marketing person in your organization, working with the analyst person in the organization, and bouncing all of these ideas off of leadership to get buy-in to that this is the story that we want to tell. And it's being inclusive, okay, as a company, including everybody in the conversation.
Okay. I was going to say, that's a word that gets thrown around a lot these days. So tell me, what does that look like? When you say that, being inclusive
is making everybody feel like they have a sense of belonging. Like, you make me feel like I belong here at the company, from the janitor all the way to the CEO, everybody. You say good morning, Bob, and instead of just saying good morning, you actually know my name. Oh, okay. How does that make me feel? It takes effort to be inclusive. It's easier to exclude. It's harder to include.
So HR and marketing, do you have any recommendations? How do you find that HR analyst or that marketing person? Do you have any advice on how a small to mid-sized shop should look for that person?
That you've got to partner with your chamber of commerce, to find out what they're doing for companies in the area, and for recommendations from them. That could be a source, but also partnering with colleges and looking at their HR departments, because guess what? They have changed the curriculum. So the curriculum has been changed to now be more talent focused, and a business analyst, or data analyst, or an HR coordinator, or a talent coordinator, all of those are new job titles that are
Okay.
evolving. And so now everybody's starting to catch on, and they've got the curriculum in place to really, really develop that human. So your career centers at your colleges are great to do that. And get on some of these recruitment sites, such as Handshake, such as Indeed, such as, some of them have really local recruitment sites that's particular to that area. But be visionary to think about utilization and how would you utilize this person within your organization and what's missing. And it all starts with assessment, right? And it all starts with maybe doing a survey.
Which is scary, right? It's scary because you think companies are going to think they know who they are and how well they're doing.
Self-awareness. How aware are we about our company?
Yep.
And while COVID was a disruptor, in some ways it was a good disruptor because it caused us to step back and look at our organizations and look at ourselves.
Yep. Well, you know what I like too? I like that you are very focused on data. So again, you look at a manufacturer or mold builder, so are they in terms of what they do. It's all about data to improve the process of the product. So now you're taking that same look at data, but for a different aspect of the company, right? Look at the data in terms of how to make your workforce better. I think that's just a really new way of thinking about data, Marion, that no one's really talking about.
Imagine what the conversation would be like, because now we're really operating with tangible facts and not just a gut feeling.
Exactly. I agree. Data, data, data.
Well, it's not going away. It is screaming technology and data.
Well, thank you for your time, Marion.
You're
welcome.
To
everybody watching, for everything mold making, visit moldmakingtechnology.com. Stay safe and healthy, and more importantly, stay informed and stay inspired.